Supposed to be doing something?
No, here. Talk to people.
I'm really bad at people
No, you're not.
and I just stare at the thing. I gotta put my mirror back. Hold on. I do my makeup by the window using this mirror and I carry it around. I'm a weirdo. Okay. AirPods. Put away. People are just watching me clean the room. Y'all have Enneagram questions? Bring them. Okay. Let's see what people are saying. I'm gonna go to the doctor. Good morning, Sammy. I don't know what y'all are talking about. Who's they or they're good? Bro, say I don't know. Okay. The table. Here we go. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all ready for this?
Oh boy.
Oh no, they were ready for that. What is happening? This goes here. This is mine.
I'm gonna do what you said not to do and maybe play the song. What's up, Sammy?
You're
What's
not
up,
going to play
Brittany?
the song. I'm not going to put it into the podcast.
I am exercising my sovereignty.
Ooh, that just put a song into my head from Lemonade.
I haven't seen Lemonade. Best book for getting started with Enneagram. I don't know. I think I've heard a lot about The Road Back to You, but I haven't read it.
I think it's in my Amazon Audible wish list even. I think it's an audiobook.
I've heard a lot of good things about that one, so. Bohemian says your headphones are pretty. Thanks, I picked them out. Whatever.
My friend spray painted these headphones, if you're talking about mine. My friend's name is Fancy.
Hello?
How cool is that? And I bought these headphones from her. Because she's a maze.
Okay, how did you go about figuring out your number? I went to...
Save it for the pod, bro.
Oh, okay, bro.
Alright, check. Check your levels. Your levels.
Hello, check.
Alright, ready to go?
Good morning. Yeah, I think I am,
We'll
but I
answer
think
your
I have a
question in a
different
minute.
idea for the show today.
We can do that when we talk to the guy. We'll have old Sleeping at Last on the podcast.
But it's here now.
It will be back again.
It won't
Your
be.
emotions are like clouds. They will come back and you can make it happen again.
You're stifling my 9.
I'm not stifling you.
Yeah, that's what a 7 would say.
You need a breath mint. I'm just kidding. You don't. Okay, are we ready?
I guess.
Check. Why are you mad? I guess. Okay.
I'm gonna be mad at you if you don't let me play the song.
I'm not going to let you play the song.
All right.
So be mad. You will be mad all day long. Ready?
Okay.
Okay. Don't be pouty and weird. I can see it. It's right there. Just imagine the glazed scone. Fill yourself with joy. And here we go. Ready? Hello and welcome to the Anatomy of Marriage podcast. I'm your host, Melanie Studley.
Good morning. My name is Seth Studley, and I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. And today is day 55, and we are going to talk about the Enneagram in action.
Yes, if you're new here, welcome. We have over 260 episodes about all things marriage related because we love y'all and we had a crappy marriage and we want people to not have a crappy marriage like we had. If you're new here, welcome. Did I already say that?
I think you did.
I did. We are brought to you today by Audible. We love audiobooks and we want you to have one for free. So go to audibletrial.com/anatomy of marriage to get your free audiobook on us because we love you. So check that out.
That's right. And since we're talking about the Enneagram, you can go get
The Road Back to You.
The Road Back to You by Chris Huertz.
Did he write
for
that
free.
one?
I think he did, yeah.
Or
The Road Back to You. Or I'm sure
Any
other
Enneagram
people
book.
will, let's see, The Road Back to You. Yep. Daryl Ann Lowry says, yep, The Road Back to You. Hashtag save it for the pod, bro.
And as always, we're live on Facebook and Instagram. We do this every morning of the weekday at around 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Okay. Ooh, okay. This is a...
So before we jump into
Interesting.
questions and topics, we're going to read the review of the day.
That's right. Thanks for saying that when I was reading it, but whatever. Review of the day. 2 stars. 2 stars? What the crunch. Loved first season, but ... I love the first season, but I'm really having a hard time lately. With what?
No,
Podcast?
knock it
Okay,
off.
sorry.
Okay.
I have felt a bit uncomfortable with some of the ways in which your conversations have felt recently. The tone has felt more blaming, critical, and dissecting your relationship in an overly negative sense, particularly what the problems are with Seth, which feels bad to listen to. Actually, it has felt downright painful lately. I keep tuning in and hoping for a turnaround because I think you are both intelligent and want to help people, and I think your first season really accomplished that. Hope you are well, and I appreciate your heart to support couples and families.
That's it.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for that review. We read every single review. It was 2 stars. And there's a few questions there. If you're not currently caught up, the middle, like between season 2, between season 1 and I don't even know, episodes, let's say 150, probably felt crappy because I was crappy. And we've had listeners write in just like this and say, hey, Mel, you're being a little snippy, lady. Could you knock it off? So if that's where you're listening, you could be in the snippy bits.
the snipper
bits. Clips.
That's right. But I think it's cool because that is a real representation of what we talk about in the show, and it's also a representation of what we're actually going through, and this Enneagram episode is going to be exactly that too. So this is a real life podcast. We try not to, we don't hold really anything back, and the hope of that is to create a podcast that we wish we had when we were going through all the crap, and to normalize your struggle, our struggle, and our awesome goodness too. Let's normalize this stuff and let's talk about it and let's give permission and be vulnerable, just like Brene Brown would say.
So this podcast is actually the process of us developing a better relationship. I mean, our marriage was terrible, and you get to see that process in real time. So thank you for the review. We read them all. They all matter, and they all help us to understand what we're doing right and wrong and how we can improve as people. Right. So thank you for that review. I just wish it hadn't been 2 stars.
Well, no, that's fine. Oh, somebody says Ian Cron wrote the wrote.
Yeah, I was going to say I didn't think it was Chris Hewart's. He has a different one though.
I think it must be called The Sacred Enneagram.
Yeah, I think.
Wow. So yeah, Chris Hertz, Ian Cron, and also our friends Jeff and Beth McCord.
Yes,
have written the book too, and that one is awesome.
It's not out yet, isn't it?
October 1st it comes out. Tony Carr says they aren't really listening because Melanie is super honest about herself, and since she's not crying about it and admitting her problems and self-loathing, only her talk about Seth is noticeable.
Busted. That was good.
Maybe. Hey, thanks for doing these. Wanted more info on this. Good.
Yay.
Awesome. Chris wrote the Sacred Enneagram.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I did.
I want to get an Enneagram tattoo because I think it looks like cool Indiana Jones art.
It looks like something from Harry Potter, to be
definitely.
honest. Okay, how do you go about figuring out your number? Reading books. The book is great. Yes, read the book, read books, and also I figured out my number from the EnneagramInstitute.com, and they have a test, and I think it was like $15 or something. The free ones are good because, I mean, sure, they're free and they're short, but they're not as good as what you pay for, because then you really go in depth and then get a whole printout of your types, your wings, your scores, all these things. And then there's another one called the RHETI personality test, RHETI, and that's also on the EnneagramInstitute.com. But we also wanted to really promote Jeff and Beth McCord stuff because they are awesome, and it's come YourEnneagramCoach.com.
Yeah, so there's lots of different places to do Enneagram stuff, and we like a lot of it, and so we want to share it all. But if you haven't checked out our latest episode with Jeff and Beth McCord, all about the Enneagram, you should definitely listen to that because we talked through it with them, and they are amazing teachers. They've been doing it for a really long time, so they're a great resource for that. But one of the things, when you asked how do you discover your number, it's usually the number that makes you feel like the most visceral kind of oh my gosh, yes, that, right? Like, it doesn't matter what the thing is that makes you feel that, but usually it's for me, listening to we're going to talk about the guy, the artist, Sleeping at Last, which I think Aaron in our group shared with us. But there's a guy called, his artist name is Sleeping at Last. He has an album called Atlas that's all about the Enneagram. It's every number in a song. And listen, I thought it was a bunch of hokum when one of the people in the Anatomy of Marriage Women group used the word hokum.
Hokum?
And I'm going to use it forever.
That must be Midwest.
Oh, yeah. So I thought it was a bunch of malarkey.
Right.
When I was like, songs about the Enneagram, right? But then I listened and I was like crying on the floor, like, this is the best. And they're not they're very complex songs. This guy is what is it called? when you write music and it's like orchestral.
Songwriter?
No, it's much more composer. So so let's just dive into Sleeping at Last and all of his stuff. So I'm going to start over. The Sleeping at Last guy has a song for every single number, and then he does an interview that is like an hour plus with Chris Hewerts about that number. Have you listened to any?
No, I haven't.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Shame on you.
So, okay. We're going to get real here.
I'm
Ready?
not... Okay,
Okay,
I
go
was
ahead and
done.
get done.
I was talking. So he does a song for every number. He does an interview with Chris Hewerts and he plays the song in the episode. Then, get this, it's amazing. The guy who, I don't know the actual guy's name, but he has the people who are those numbers. So like if it's a song 7, which is my number, all the musicians are 7s.
Really?
He wrote the lyrics with Chris Hewerts, like his help,
Right.
to get it so that they definitely help each person feel the thing that they feel. So he didn't write it from his perspective. The musicians are all 7s. People send in these things called like sound, what is it? Like
Soundscape.
Sounds. But they're all 7s. So like there'll be children laughing and it's from a 7. There'll be someone jogging and he weaves it into the song. It's so complex.
Wow.
If you are a musician or you love audio or you love like complex tied together things, you will love the Sleeping at Last podcast and all the Enneagram numbers.
Oh, somebody says, I hated song 5 and skipped it when I first listened to it. ... Later to find out I'm a 5.
Yes, right?
Boom.
I would love to know more about that. I mean, do you feel like it resonates with you, the
Geez,
song?
Daryl, you must be like an Enneagram expert. You're answering all our questions.
Ryan O'Neill is Sleeping at Last. Thank you. Ryan O'Neill. I don't know why I didn't look it up before I started talking about it.
Thank you. Let's see.
And he's a really accomplished musician and composer.
Okay. So somebody asked, and this has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Go for it.
But somebody said, Melanie, I know that what you eat, because you eat healthy, and somebody asked what I eat. I eat very similarly.
Oh gosh, never say
in
that.
a very similar way.
Yes.
How about that?
Yeah.
Clean stuff. I eat more protein than she does, probably, and I'm fixing to start another diet and a whole workout thing from our amazing coach that we started seeing, which is totally rad.
We're going to share more about that actually as we break off into more personal coaching styles.
So the first 3 minutes has no words. Oh man, ooh, that would be hard.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just get real here. So, and I think it's about Enneagram stuff, which I'm really interested in. So I listened to, because I'm a 9, right? And it took a while to figure out I'm a 9, because when I did the test, it also said that I was like, I think a 4 and a 7. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm all of these things, right? So if you take the Enneagram for the first time, you'll probably have a couple of results and you'll resonate and relate to a bunch of different types. Sometimes.
Depending on the test that you take, and
Right.
9s tend to do that.
Ooh, okay. Well, that's a thing. So I had 3 very, very, very close scores, right? But I figured out through reading and just, I don't know, knowing stuff that I was like, okay, yeah, I'm a 9. And so I listened to number 9, right? And I don't know where I was when I listened to it, but I died. And I'm like DED, dead. No, I'm serious. I completely died, and I said, okay, we got to do a show about this. We have to listen to the song. I have to talk about it. Why? See, you're rolling your eyes because what are you? You're a 7. So
it's not that.
You're more practical, and I'm like,
I'm an audio engineer.
Ethereal.
Ethereal?
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 Ethereal. And I want to do it because I think it's huge. And how about this?
You want to do it because you don't produce the podcast.
No. I want to do it because it's like an exhibition of me living it out.
You're an exhibitionist now?
Oh my gosh. No. You know what I'm saying? So,
I hear what you're saying.
But you're more practical and oh, we can't, blah, blah. But I'm I want to do it. Right?
I have boundaries, you mean? Tony writes, girl, same. It took forever to get to the lyrics. We are word people. Get to the point.
Yeah, I guess. Then why do you like this podcast?
Really
I ramble
funny.
all the time.
Yeah, right.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I like the idea of playing the song, but I don't want to do that right now because these people have to sit through it.
Okay,
they can
okay.
listen. We will put links to all of the
true.
songs and all of the things. So we have some Enneagram questions here that I wanted to answer.
Okay.
But I do want to say again, I'm going to repeat it. I'm going to share it on the page. We are talking about the songs from Sleeping at Last by Ryan O'Neill on the Enneagram album, and he does all the numbers in a song. So we're going to share them all. We're going to share the links.
Mel is feeling her 8-wing.
And we're going to share the latest episode again on our Facebook page and all of that that we did with Jeff and Beth McCord. Oh, so hard to say their names.
Yes.
Okay, so we have. How did we discover the Enneagram? I remember the first time that we heard it was from our friends who are actually on season 1, Christy and Matt McDonald. They are artists and they sing in the band.
The Classic Crime.
The Classic Crime.
And also... Oh,
the Vocal Few.
The Vocal Few.
The Vocal Few and the Classic Crime.
Yeah.
So they are artists and they... Look at the bunny. They sing... They told us about the Enneagram and I was seriously like, oh my gosh, you weirdos, just zip it. Stop talking about numbers. Stop saying I'm a whatever and then laughing. Like, oh, I bet she's a 7. I was like, what are you talking about?
Right.
I just remember being like, this is the dumbest, dumb stuff I've ever heard.
So that's when you may have first heard about it. I first heard about it in graduate school and thought that it was a bunch of hokum, right? And really didn't understand it and honestly thought, okay, I'm in Seattle, this is trippy, whatever.
Bring in the witchcraft.
Yeah, kind of thing, and wasn't really interested in it. But through further investigation and actually living through it and stuff, it's like, oh my goodness. Whew, it's awesome. Yeah.
How has the Enneagram helped you the most with understanding yourself?
Who wrote these questions in? Wow, they're genius.
I wrote them.
Oh, you did? Oh, I mean, they're okay.
How has the Enneagram helped you understand yourself?
Me?
Yes, you.
Okay, so if you really want to know, a number 9. Okay, so God, I wish we'd listen to the song right now because it's like always searching for something, knowing there's something more there, and then like having glimpses of where to find it. What are you doing smiling?
Just keep talking.
Oh my goodness.
Keep talking. I didn't say anything.
Anyway, it has helped me a lot, and it's like it feels really crazy, and it feels like nothing ever before, I guess.
Okay, can you clarify?
Like knowing that there's like an infinite gold mine just right under the surface, but for like decades not being able to get to it.
What's the gold mine?
Me. I'm serious. Like who I am as a person, as a personality. Like remember, like, and it's so I don't know. It's so very moving. Like listening to that song, I listened to it when I was running and like was crying like a freak, in the woods. Just like running down the trail, and thankfully I didn't see anybody, but just bunnies heard me, crying and stuff like that. But I don't know, it, like I said, like the gold mine underneath that, like maybe is already there for your own self or whatever. And you're like, sure, I can do anything. I'm awesome, right? Like 9s don't think that. Like that's not how I grew up, and I've had like glimpses in it. Remember when we were in Denver at a bar in the airport, and you were talking to Tina Shermer Sellers, who's a genius, and we love her. What did she tell you?
I was at Denver.
You and her were talking about me.
I was at a trip in Denver. Seth wasn't with me, and Dr. Tina, who was in our show.
No, I was with you. I didn't go to the conference. I was in Denver with you.
Oh, whatever. But so it was just her and I together, and she was saying something along the lines of, she was telling me, it's so cool to watch you grow and change, because when I met Dr. Tina, I was like this cocoon, just like
a bee.
No, I was like I just really shut off from anything. I didn't think about things complexly. I was like, this is what I know, and I was like, right. And I feel like I blossomed and bloomed in the time that I've known her. And so she was like, yeah, it's so amazing to see your growth, and I can't wait for Seth to discover that in himself. And when I told that to Seth, he started crying at the restaurant, and I was like, what did I say? Like, because I had no idea what. And
from a 9's perspective, it's like that glimpse of the infinite kind of gold mine under there, and that song really, really brings it out. So I've had like times, and I don't know what's going to happen when it's like I live in that spot. We'll just be. I don't know, do anything.
Just become a 7. It's so easy to live in that spot.
No, it's so frustrating to be a 9 too, because like we're looking to, like the song says, it's like you try to find yourself through other people's eyes and stuff like that, and it's just.
What other lyrics feel like they resonate there?
I don't know. I was like too busy crying when I was listening to it, so I don't remember it, I guess. So yeah, it's that. Yeah, I want to listen to it and then like kind of process it in real time, which I think would be it would be helpful to other 9s, and we'll do the same for 7s too, of course. So yeah, how has it helped you in your self and your marriage?
Well, I don't know if it was what you said, but one of the things that it really helped me understand is that the things that I feel sort of this like deep desire for change and more and like what's the word? It's like personal growth, change, more, diving in. Ow, God, I just had like a really terrible pain. Like working really hard on self-development. I used to think like, what is wrong with me? Why do I always want to be like changing and growing when my whole family is fine just staying the same? And so it was this moment of, or not a moment, but like years of, why do I feel like I'm never happy? And I don't mean like I'm unhappy. I mean, I'm discontent staying the same. And I remember feeling like there's got to be something wrong with me, right? Was my sort of initial like, I guess I'm just weird and a glutton. Maybe or like something. You're not
appreciative. Or
yeah.
You take things for granted and you just want more. You're greedy.
Yeah, like yeah, that's a good way to put it. And so
selfish.
For a long time, that's how I felt. I was like, well, I guess I'm just selfish and I want what I want and I'm a baby and I want everything my way. But really, it's like the things that I want are deeper relationships, personal growth. The things that I want viscerally are like, and it is evidenced in my life and my friendships. Like I remember arguing with my brother's wife before they were married. They broke up, big drama, and I was like the most 7 with her ever, but I didn't know this, and it was before we had kids, and I was like the most personal coach. Dang it, Seth. Come on, plug your phone in. But I like, and now looking back, I go, oh, I can see. You mean
you were the most personal coach giving very unsolicited advice?
No. Trying to draw out like what I could see in her. It's the 7s like.
So you were fighting for her.
Yes, like I see what you want. I see what your behaviors are doing. Like this is not, you're behaving this way, but your heart is this way, and I can see it, and I want to help you find that. And it's very much like what we do on the show. That's why it's frustrating to me.
That's really good because. Yeah, you maybe if it's like a 7-8 wing or whatever, like you do give unsolicited advice, and I'm like, just drop it and let me live. You know what I'm saying?
Stay in your lane, Mega B.
Well, honestly, yeah, like stay in your lane, and maybe this is some even real-time insights into like, hey, this is helpful when you do this, but I'm not asking for your help or your advice or anything 24/7, right? You know what I'm saying?
Well, and let me say what I was going to say is it's frustrating as a 7 to see you as a 9. You're like, I can't find myself. I don't know how I am in the world, and where am I? And I'm like, you're right freaking there. And I can like, I feel like pulling it all out of you. Like, why aren't you seeing it? And so there's this weird interplay between how you are and how I am.
Right.
I'm not
No,
saying...
but then that brings like, that's tension. That's not like a 9. And God, the song like exemplifies that so much. It's because the Peacemaker, right? It's, I don't like conflict, and when you're saying this, I'm just going,
but conflict is great.
This sucks for
conflict me. Feels amazing.
And then I just check out. I'm like, no, I don't. And then we get into the pursued distancer dynamic, and it's insane.
People are writing a bunch of stuff on it. It says, I've tried going through and taking the test, but I felt very ADD and felt like I didn't answer the similar questions the same way. Does that make sense? Yes, it does. Sorry I'm late to the stream, but do you guys have a link to test the support that we believe is good? The WEPS is one of them. I think it's WEPPS. I did that one. It cost $12, I think. Seth did the Enneagram Institute test, right?
Yes, the Enneagram Institute. It's like $12 or $15. Go there, the enneagraminstitute.com. That's the one I suggest because it's really good because the resources that it gives you afterwards is really amazing.
And the ones that you pay for will give you like top 3, like it'll give you a breakdown of how many numbers you, whatever. It makes sense, so check those out.
Let's see, Suzanne Stable, who has been teaching the Enneagram for years. Her podcast about the Enneagram is great. I haven't heard of that.
I actually have that in my podcast feed and haven't listened to it yet. I have to be like in the right mood. Let's see.
The husband and I both are 3s. Having the same number does not equal less conflict.
I bet. I can't imagine.
Yikes, I'm a 3. Paul. That's enough for one relationship. Well, Paul is awesome, and so 3s must be awesome. I don't know. I bet I know some 3s. Well, other than Paul, I don't know who else loads for 3s like in our family. Okay.
But I want to finish that. The Enneagram has helped me understand that like my perpetual longing and desire for like deeper, more meaningful things and like experiential living is not weird. Like having a song reflect that back to you in such a poignant way is like, oh, yes, he gets me, and I'm not alone.
Much.
It's not too much. It's exactly enough. Actually, let's do more.
It's too much for me because I'm like, oh my god.
You're bottling it all the time. You're like
man.
shaken up Tang. What is it? What's the shaked up?
Tang?
Mountain Dew. I'm trying to think of a thing that's in a can.
Tang. What the? Okay. I am super
Ting.
skeptical.
I was trying to think of ting
Oh, Jamaican
in
stuff?
Jamaica.
I am super skeptical
No.
about the Enneagram. Just read that one. I'm already
What?
started. Convince me that it isn't a bunch of garbage.
Hokum.
It's not hokum.
So
It's not
again,
garbage.
when I first heard the Enneagram, I was like, whatever, weirdos with your numbers and your witchcraft.
Mhm.
I really like witchcraft, so no big deal. Like the concept of witchcraft. But anyway, I just remember thinking, like, who cares? Why do you keep talking about the Enneagram so much? But then when, like, people, honestly, this is going to sound super bad of me, but when people that I really trusted and, like Tina knew the Enneagram and Carla knew the Enneagram, I was like, oh, maybe this isn't a bunch of malarkey, and maybe I should listen, and maybe they know something. And they would, like, speak to me about the Enneagram in a way that made me feel like they, like, were looking into my soul. I was like, oh, okay, something's real here.
Yeah.
So that was, for me, like, why I believe it's not garbage.
Right.
But there are types who believe it's garbage almost no matter what. I think the 8 is like, whatever, don't care. Don't ever want to know about it. I mean,
But
not
that would
all.
be exemplary of an 8.
Yeah, it's like their style to be that way.
My husband is a 3 and I'm a 9. I go to his number in health and he goes to mine in stress. Everything makes so much sense now that we know.
Yes.
And they talk about the Enneagram as not like end all be all, but simply a tool to give more insight into your past actions, to give more insight to your thinking, to give more insight into like where you're at in your life, how you think, how you feel, how you relate to others, how you relate to yourself. So it really is super amazing. And I love to think about it through a therapeutic lens in this way, through a therapeutic lens and a historical, like, thousands of years old lens. Like, okay, people are smart. Humans, we've done great things all over civilization. We've done really bad things too, obviously, but there is a lot of collective wisdom. And I would say the Enneagram is a typing tool that has come from thousands of years of collective wisdom, of just people seeing there's these types of people, there's these types and these types. Okay, let's identify them. And it's like, okay, there's a zillion trees out here, and guess what? There's probably 10 or 12 types of species of trees here. Okay, so we can type those and say, you know what, this kind grows here. When it gets cold, it does this. The leaves fall off here, or whatever kind of thing. So it's a typing tool, and it's a collective of culminating wisdom from a bunch of smart people. So
yeah,
that's how I like to explain it.
Someone wrote, I agree, 8 here, and I fought accepting the Enneagram forever. What kind of, like, sold you on it? I would love to know from an 8's perspective, because I think my dad is an 8, and I cannot imagine him even engaging in a conversation about, I mean, he would engage in the conversation, but to school me.
Right.
He wouldn't, like,
engage. That's true.
But
Melanie said hokum hair flip.
I know, right? I mean, thank you for the word. It's the best word.
That's funny.
I need more words from other places. I loved it.
Okay, what else?
But one of the things I wanted to say that is really exciting about the Enneagram and makes it stand out as being different than like a disc test or a personality Myers-Briggs type of thing is that those are talking about your behaviors, right? So if I'm like really studious, then I love lists. Like that talks about my behaviors. The Enneagram is actually talking about the motivation that drives your behaviors, which is a totally different thing altogether, right? Like if my motivation is to be close to Seth, and I do it through making a checklist, that exposes something highly valuable to know about myself in me, if that makes sense. And well, I'm getting ahead of myself, but that's just one thing that I really wanted to say, and I think is really important.
Okay, you want me to get trippy here?
Trip away.
So, the stuff that I've learned about the Enneagram and how it has literally, like, oh my goodness, I, like, understand myself. Not, like, my body, but, like, my spirit, you know? And if, like, you know, Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, whatever, like, all these religions believe that, okay, we have a spirit, and when we die, we just don't, you know, oh, poof, our spirit ends, you know, the light goes out and doesn't come back on. Our spirit goes to heaven or nirvana or whatever, right? The Enneagram to me is like, it is helping me in my current body understand like my spirit. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
And that's like really trippy. And like, then I'm thinking, oh my goodness, it gets like, okay, closer to like creator and closer to like this different wisdom kind of thing, and it gets really trippy, really fast, and is pretty interesting. As a 9,
read that one first, because that one was the 8 one. It says, finally accepting the negatives and understanding they could help me to stay healthy. Yes, I also like how it can be a good avenue for healthier relationships. Yes, that's the person saying that they are an 8 and they fought it forever. Another person says, as a 9, it's so helpful to have a tool that helps identify motivation, because I know other people super well, but when it comes to myself, not so much.
Yep, exactamundo, Rebecca.
And then it says, I finally accepted the Enneagram as an 8 after I decided I needed to work on my relationship with myself. That's great. That is great. And one of the things, too, is that what I saw as a weakness before I knew the Enneagram, like, my desire for more, my desire for deeper conversations, and feeling like there could be more to everything. What I saw as a weakness once I did the Enneagram, I was like, this is not a weakness at all. This is like an asset, and I can universe juice this to the world. Do not play the song.
I'm not playing the song.
The other question I wanted to ask is, let's see, Seth skipped one. How has the Enneagram helped most in our marriage? Will you come back into the podcast?
Oh, hi. I'm trying to look something up.
What?
Just go. Just talk.
I'm asking you a question.
How has the Enneagram helped us in our marriage?
Yeah.
Okay, answer it. No.
Can you tell me what you're looking up?
I was going to look up a lyric to the 9 to like talked about the 9 that's like when she said, I know other people super well, but when it comes to myself, not so much. And there's like
I just want to see myself through someone else's eyes.
Yeah, that one. But then like at the end, it says like the most. Wow, you can remember that good. I'm
a musician.
Yeah. Let's see. Don't hear that number a lot. Oh, a 4. Talk about a 4. What do you know about 4s?
4s are, I think our son is a 4. It's the individualist, isn't it? And I think
I think that might be right.
I feel like, and this is going to sound anti, like all of what the Enneagram stuff says, but I think I was like a 4-ish before I became a Christian. I feel like that
I don't know if it works that way.
No, I know that it doesn't, but I think it's one of the things on my whatever. But it's really weird because it's like there's 2 of me though. There's like I was a different person before I became a Christian. Universe juice. Anyway, I don't know much about 4s, but listen to the song if you haven't heard it yet.
4 and a 7 share a line.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah, see, like these lines and stuff like this, like it's just amazing because a line. What the heck is that? I don't even know. It's
you do know. Jeff and Beth explained it to us on our podcast that came out last week, so I hope you know.
Well, still, I've forgotten it, but all this wisdom about it, Melissa. What?
I said listen.
Oh, okay. So,
but how has it helped you the most in our marriage? How has the Enneagram helped in our marriage?
Oh, it gives me insight into myself, which in marriages, in relationships, you have to get right before you can get right with another person. So it helped me understand myself and then also understand you when you're tripping, when you go to a 7 wing 8 or under stress or 4 or whatever it is, like, okay, she's tripping. I don't have to take this personally, and that doesn't mean she's right or whatever, and she's going to fight for it even if she's wrong, which is super annoying, but that's kind of who she is, and hopefully she'll come around. Like yesterday, you were a B, and I was like, well, I don't know what to do, kind of thing, and then you said sorry later, so that helped me understand you a little bit.
Has it helped you see anything positive about me? Or just how
No,
I'm a
because
B?
I already see the positive in you.
Let's try.
As a 9. No, really. I already see
9?
the positive. Yeah, I see the positive
thing?
and like want to connect and stuff. So you're great, you're awesome. But when you're not, really sucks. So, does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, it's common for 7s to mistype as a 3, so that would make sense you'd relate to a 4. That's true.
I want to look into it more even because I was thinking about it. I was thinking about it yesterday as we were preparing for this, and I thought I need to look at 4s more because when I listen to this song, it's almost like a different version of myself hears that song and goes, "That's totally me, who I was." And again, it's like how our son is. One of our kids is like that. And I relate to it so strongly. So it's just very interesting. But 7, when I hear the 7 song, I like fall over. I can't do anything.
Yeah.
But for me, what it's helped the most in our marriage to do the Enneagram is helps me understand that you see yourself a different way than I see myself, if that makes sense. Like that you don't look at yourself and intrinsically know, like, this is what I want and what I feel and how I want to whatever and blah, blah, blah. Like, you have a totally different relationship to yourself than I have with myself, which opened my eyes a lot to just understanding you more complexly and having a lot more space for the way you see and think and feel about something, because it isn't anything like the experience that I think and see and feel even about myself, if that makes sense. So like the confidence that I feel, you don't feel that.
No.
The self-assuredness of like, even if I'm right, who cares? Let's talk about it. You're like, I would never do that. I would never go to Chicken Lavish. That's from our trip to Jamaica. Okay. Let's see.
Do you have any resources to grow in your number after the number is found? I have the road back to you and the path between us. My husband was wondering about that. He doesn't think he was a 1 before he went into the military. You know, I don't know if it changes like that or not. I know you said like you think your number changed after you became a Christian. I think that life experiences can change your perspective on your number and your interpretation of that. But I think, at least from what I've heard from teachers, the number kind of doesn't ever change.
But think about, you have your lines to like the healthy thing and your wings, right? So you've got your core number of like, this is my core motivation, 7. I want to learn more, grow more, do more, whatever. But then there are different parts of who you are. And I will say, I think that experiences really do change that stuff. They change the way you display how you are, the way you move throughout your own person, if that sounds super weird. But so I don't know, it would be worth looking into more and thinking about more deeply. But I would say listen to the songs and the interviews with Chris Hewerts on Sleeping at Last, if you haven't already listened to them. Those are really helpful because he does talk about stuff like that, like how to be in relationship with different numbers and all that stuff. But Jeff and Beth McCord are coming out with a book that's about all the types and the relationships and stuff like that. So it's really interesting.
Let's see. Think about the times in your life when you were the healthiest and the times where you were under stress.
Yes.
That helped me. Yes, that's really true. And the Enneagram will tell you, like, okay, you're heading towards this way and you're probably going to act this way. And if you can think of it historically, like, holy crap, that's right. Or if you think, I was mostly doing this, I was whatever, and there was good results. So, okay.
One last thing, it says, I scored so high on more than half of the numbers on the first test that I paid for. Seth was the same. All of my scores were about 95 to 99%, except for 2 of the numbers. I took a free test and was able to narrow it down to where I am a 5, but I definitely want to learn more about wings and lines. I'm curious how I could score so high on almost all of them. Well, I think it's like, it's hard because sometimes we're trying to manipulate as we go. So we're trying to answer the question, like, what's the most appropriate thing to say here? That actually is part of that. But then, like, Seth scored almost the same on 3 of them.
On 3 of them, yeah. And a couple tips of taking the test, not to, like, hack it or cheat it or anything, but the first thing that comes to your mind is usually the answer.
Don't overthink it.
So I may want to take it again. And I've taken a couple different ones, and most of them have leaned towards a 9. But that big one that I paid for was 3, and I was like, oh, I'm all 3. This is crazy. Which one?
Yeah.
But as you read more and give it about, literally 3 months, give it about 6 months or something, and then ask your spouse and see how that goes.
And listen to our episode that we did live in Chicago with Meredith and Justin Boggs. They helped me do my typing live. So they were like, oh, here's your top 3 numbers. And then they whittled it down through asking questions. So we're going to try to share all of those resources today, so you can get the Sleeping at Last songs, you can get the books, you can get the Justin and Meredith episodes that we did in Chicago, because it really is, it's like a journey, as silly as that sounds.
We've done a lot of episodes on Enneagram. Okay, you guys, thank you so much. Today, I want you to totally annihilate audibletrial.com/anatomy of marriage, because you can get all these free books. Any of these Enneagram books, any of these books that you want to get, you can, and it's completely free. So go check it out. If you don't know what your type is, do a test and then buy one of those books on Audible. And have conversations in our Facebook pages about it. Y'all are helpful resources to one another. So get in the men's group, get in the women's group, get in the main page, and ask your questions about the Enneagram and be the community, the amazing community that you are. That's right. Before we run away here, I want to say the Get Your Marriage On app is out and you can try it. So for people, I mean, there are still some things we're fixing, which is so bizarre to my mind that that's how app making works. I'm so proud of it. Good job. And it is the funnest thing and people are loving it so far. So check out Get Your Marriage On app.
It's so fun, and I'm super, super excited. So check it out.
Mm-hmm.
And someone just wrote like a giant thing. Oh no, it just says it's amazing.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, it's amazing.
Right.
Someone else
Michelle
wrote it.
says,
Awesome.
good.
Yay! So anyway, check out the app and have an amazing day. Rate and review our show in iTunes. Share it with your friends. That's the best, most helpful thing you can do. Sign up for the Seattle AOM meetup in like 2 days. And we love you. Have a great day.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right.
Post show.
Cool, guys. Post show. Thanks. What is it, Tuesday? You guys are jamming on Instagram.
I know.
Thanks.
And Facebook.
And
We're also
Facebook?
jamming.
High five. Okay, let's see. I think people love the Enneagram. It's been so helpful. So let's see. What else? Okay, Seattle meetup 2 days from now. If you're around,
Come on
out.
be there.
I'll buy you a German beer. Right?
Will you spending our money?
No.
He won't buy you a German beer. We're broke. We're not broke.
Are you having a show on Thursday? Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't see why not. That'll be Thursday morning.
Paul says, meetup.
Meetup.
Can't wait
to
see y'all.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be so fun. Paul and Robin, you guys are beyond words awesome. So
Jiu-Jitsu James says he's going to download the app now. I can't read that.
Okay. All right. Well, we got to go. Got a coaching call. All right.
I know. So excited.
All right. Bye, guys.
Amazing day, you guys.